All right, so Stoney, I don't know if you caught this. ESPN did something really interesting as we await any news on Tarik Skubal. And there is something that we will play for you later as a player on another team talked about Skubal.
Ooh. Yep. Tampering?
Maybe. I don't know. But we will get to that coming up before the show is done. But at the winter meetings, ESPN asked a bunch of questions to all the managers in Major League Baseball. Like, if you were commissioner for a day, what is one change you would make?
Ooh.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they printed their favorite answers. Warren Schaefer, the Colorado Rockies, said every Monday off, just like the minor leagues, every Monday off. In Coors, you could go with a 6-man rotation. You have a whole day of prep for the next opponent. Every week, you get that rest and maybe filter in off days between them. Pat Murphy, the Milwaukee Brewers, says shadows. Eliminate shadows. Can't have shadows. Dangerous for players or devices to communicate with outfielders so they don't run into each other. I don't know how they do that. Some of the other more interesting answers. Which opposing hitter would you least like to see up with the game on the line?
I'm sure most people thought of Ohtani.
Shohei got some mention. Freddie Freeman got some mention. But we got some love here.
Oh.
Which pitcher, not on your team, would you like to most hand the ball to with the season on the line?
Duh.
Yep. There is more than a few Skubals in terms of response. Rob Thompson of Philadelphia said Skubal. Skubal and Skeens got about half the votes here, which is interesting. Another one is, who's the best manager in the game?
Wow.
Do you think our guy got any love?
Yes. I think people, yes.
Let's see here. Skip Schumacher from Texas says, before the World Series happened, I would say AJ Hinch. I would probably stick with AJ, but what Dave Roberts, did this postseason was super impressive. So I give it 1A and 1B because everybody talks about the roster that Doc had. And yes, he has unbelievable talent, but what he did this postseason, and honestly, the previous one too, how he had to navigate that Padres series, I give him a ton of respect.
That's fair. I thought when we said before the World Series, I thought he was going to be referring to the cheating World Series.
Warren Schaefer says, AJ Hinch. I love what he gets out of his players in terms of the roles they have accepted on his team. Anybody else say AJ? No, they only printed like 5 or 6 responses for each one, but AJ got some love. It's important to point that out when our guys get high marks outside of Detroit.
Right.
I like to always give them credit where credit is due.
He's a terrific manager. Sometimes I think he goes a little too analytical, but other than that, I think he does a nice job.
Well, as I always like to say, you are not always going to get every call right.
Correct.
Sometimes
the right decisions ends up poorly and vice versa.
Well, I always talk about the net, and that is the overall impact of your influence on the team.
Right.
Is the net of that positive or negative?
Right. What's the one thing about AJ Hinch you dislike the most?
The thing about AJ Hinch I dislike the most. God, I'm not in baseball mode at all right now.
I know.
That is a great question. I'd have to give that some serious thought. Do you have one that comes to mind?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
He does not allow his assistant coaches to speak to us.
Interesting.
And I think that's ridiculous.
Why does that bother you?
Because I think I'd love to hear what Chris Fetter has to say about certain things. I mean, it's like why the NFL has the coordinators available once a week. I'd like to, you talk to a batting coach, what are you working on with so-and-so? He's having strong. I think that's important for the fans. Me personally, I just, our job is to be the conduit to the fans. And I think, I'm sure he's not alone, doesn't allow his assistant, his coaches to speak. I think is absurd.
I didn't know that they did that, actually. Because I always felt one of the reasons why the NFL lets the coordinator speak is because it gives those guys a chance to be in front of a microphone, in front of reporters. If one day they become a head coach, they can handle it.
That's another good reason why he should let his guys do it.
I didn't know that, But I didn't know he didn't let Federer and all those guys speak. But I didn't know Major League Baseball allowed that either.
of wonder, as time has gone on, I am less and less comfortable with Skubal not going out for the 7th in Seattle.
Really?
Yeah. I was in the moment. I kind of implicitly trusted AJ.
Oh, good. So you've gotten common sense back that he should have gone out.
Yeah,
and pitched till his arm fell off. I agree.
I kind of wish. Does AJ push it there? Did AJ push it there?
Yeah.
Did AJ try to push it there?
Right.
And I want more to that story.
Right. There's so many untold. Like, I would love to know if AJ says to Scott, yeah, you know what, Scott, you're right. We're good. We don't need another bat for this team.
That he doesn't insist on adding more.
Yes, exactly. But that's stuff we will never know.
Yeah. I mean, part of that is AJ's belief in his bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I mean, the guy that eventually got tagged with that run that tied the game up was Finnegan. And you can't say, I mean, Finnegan had been really good for them, but.
Yeah, but he wasn't the same pitcher once he came back from getting hurt.
No. But wasn't he coming off a really good appearance?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I'd like that entire night and that decision-making process to maybe be relived because, to be clear, I defended him most of the season based upon the idea of this game in early June isn't one where I'd push Tarik Skubal.
I totally agree there.
Because there's going to come a day where you want to have gas in the tank, and it felt to me like that day was that day. And alas, and now Finnegan had been knocked around in that series. He gave up a run in 3 of the 4 outings. So it just that I'm not condemning the man based on one move and one move that seemed to be agreed upon by the manager and the player.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I would like to know if AJ really pushed it and tried to convince his star to go back out there.
We'll find out in 20 years when he writes his book, The AJ Story.
Maybe. But interesting that you brought that up. And what you don't like is, for the most part, harmless.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't cost him games.
No.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can, there's, I'm surprised, in fact, you don't have more second guessing his managerial moves. I know you pretty well, and that's one of your big things.
Because I think he's been pretty good at that for the most part.
Yeah.
For the most part.
In terms of his managerial moves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes the lineup doesn't make sense, but you know what?
Baseball seems to lend itself to second guessing.
Oh, more than any other sport.
More than anything else.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you a great example. So, one thing we haven't really talked about this week is Dan Campbell's first possession of the game. When they go down the field and they're looking at a 4th and 4 from the 22 or whatever the yard line they were on. Mm-hmm. And Dan Campbell decides that he's going to try the field goal. And I bet a lot of Detroit were like, thank you, because they're sick of them not making it on 4th downs. But when you always say you should kick there, what you don't always say is that you might not make it.
Well, that's why.
And then Bates missed it.
Right. Well, that's why I still will defend the San Francisco game. Oh, put them up 3 scores. I said, there's no guarantee that Badgley was going to make that field goal. I had more.
It was pretty long, wasn't it?
It was like 40, 44, 40, whatever. I had more faith
in the offense
that they would come up with a play, which they did, that would have worked if Josh Reynolds didn't turn into Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah. San Francisco 28, so it would have been a 38, 46-yarder, which is makeable, but Badgley isn't.
I mean, he made big field goals the playoff game before.
Right.
But that was home.
Mm-hmm. In perfect conditions. Yeah, I mean, so all the moves that get second guessed, then he does the thing that everybody asks him to do, and the kid misses the field goal.
Yeah.
So, and look, guys are going to miss field goals.
Right,
but
exactly.
When what you chose didn't work out, you clearly should have chose the other thing. So,
Although I don't,
no matter how much sense it might make.
I don't think I don't think I got any calls after the postgame show. I know we didn't yesterday.
About they should have gone for it.
Should have gone for it there.
Yeah, I think this town has moved away from should have gone for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, 248-539-9797. The quarterback, Jared Goff, his thoughts on this loss against L.A. and what needs to happen for them to make a run down the stretch next on 97.1.